Hi, it's Adrienne. How are you doing today? So we're back today to rank some palettes from 2024. And so we're going to go ahead and start with the least favorite and work up to the favorites. And as far as going ahead and getting started, I had one palette that I accidentally tossed on the floor, and I broke a couple of shadows in here. So I kept this one just so I could make it my least favorite, so nobody would end up in the least favorite place. And so, yeah, this is the palette that's broken, and it's gonna take the bottom space. And then starting with, let's see, this is a Beauty Moon Ice Cream Hope in Blue, and this is a pink palette. The quality is actually really good. The only thing about this palette is I don't wear a lot of this color of pink, so it's in this area. The next one is one that I'm really glad that I got a chance to be part of this, and this is the Hard Candy Girl Scout Buttery Bestie Shadow Palette. And I hope they do more of these. I thought that this was a really good idea. This is the palette itself, and then up here it says all around the rim here, and she can. So this palette is meant for the moms, you know, and to, you know, give you a good phrase about your daughter. And I just thought that this whole collection was done really well, and they had products for the young girls, like the clear lip glosses with the that tasted really good, and they had these for the older girls and the moms, and I just thought that it was a really good idea. And then this was another one from Hard Candy, and it was a Caramel Queen Shadow Palette. And again, I just thought that these were really good palettes, and I was really glad to be able to help out the Girl Scouts and be able to go ahead and promote these for them. And again, I thought it was a really good idea, and I hope that they go ahead and do it again. Next, I have this Revolution one, and this one is a Hyper Real palette. This was one that I kept on watching sell out and sell out over where I was at, so I picked it up. I'm actually using it as a topper palette, and I think it's really pretty. So I'm actually glad that I picked that one up. Oh, this is a Wet n Wild, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and so this came out during Halloween. Really liking this palette too. It actually has a whole bunch of different specialty shadows in it. This one is definitely a multi-chrome. It has a glitter, and it actually has a holographic shadow. So I thought this was actually a really good palette that had some really different formulas in it. And then next is the palette that wasn't for me. And, you know, we all like to think that, you know, I can make any palette work, that they'll all work for me, and that isn't necessarily so. And this palette, actually, I love the shimmers to use them as toppers, but the color story just wasn't my color story. It's a Daylight palette, and it's inspired by the I Need a Nude palette by Natasha Denona. And like I said, I like to use the shimmers as toppers, but this one just really didn't work for me. And another one by Alter Ego. This is an Alter Ego palette. You can get it on their website. And the other one is Dream Days, and this one is a pastel palette. Very pretty as a pastel palette. Again, unless it's springtime, I'm not wearing these a lot, and so it's just this palette that I just wouldn't reach for a lot. So we went ahead and got through these, and let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was 8, and I'll be back in a moment with the middle of the eyeshadow pile. And whoever said eyeshadow is dead wasn't paying attention. Hi, Adrienne back, and we're going to go ahead and rank the middle part of the palettes, or yeah, the middle of the palette ranking, and we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, and I wanted to thank TIGI for the haircut and for going ahead and doing my hair. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much. And as far as getting started with the middle rankings, this is by Dede Signature, and this one is the Classic Autumn. And I just got this one in the Ice Cream Beauty Box, and I really like it. It is a very pretty fall color story, and the shimmers are just amazing, duochromes and multichromes, and the mattes are buttery. So I just really like this formula, and I just really haven't had time to play with that palette at all. Another one that I got, actually, I didn't get this in the ice cream box. It was in the ice cream box, but I actually got this over at the Gourmande Girls website. And this is the El Camino palette. I think the multichromes in here are absolutely gorgeous. Very different palette. I liked it a lot. I got some really pretty looks out of it. And so it's a palette that I thought was really pretty and very cool tone. I mean, cool tone palette. Another cool tone palette, and this one is the Colourpop. It's Welcome Foolish Mortals, and they re-released it. They actually released it last year, and then they re-released it for Halloween this year. Again, another cool tone palette, and it does have another holographic shadow in it right there. And yeah, I've been playing around with holographic shadows and multichromes like a lot of people have this year. So yeah, I still think they're cool. And, you know, that's me. So yeah, like this palette, and I got some good looks out of it. The So Elemental palette, if you want a classic blue palette from Colourpop, this would be your palette. Again, it's a classic blue. It has that deep navy blue. It has a sky blue. It even has a powder blue color in here. And so this will give you a very classic look. And it's just a gorgeous palette. It's great quality. Definitely would go ahead and recommend it. Another alter ego, and this is the Mystique palette. I think it's inspired by the Cirque palette by Natasha Denona. Really like the color story. Got some really fun looks out of it. And yeah, so really, I use mainly the cool tone part of it. So again, really liking this palette. And let's see. First, the next palette, this was from a brand that I hadn't tried before, but I thought the quality was amazing. And this is Moira, Moira is going to be in the grocery stores in Texas, but it isn't where I live. And so I tried to put in a couple of orders, but they've been sold out when I did. So this one is A Moment With You. And their packaging is just really fun and cute. And this is the palette. It has great quality. It's a very, very warm palette. I really like the browns in this palette. They did some really fun stuff. They have some red browns and then some chocolate, like milk chocolate browns. They're really pretty. And this whole palette just works really well. So first time I tried Moira, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good quality. Okay, so moving over to the Revolution Icon palettes. This is the Eternal Icon, and this is a burgundy and green color story. Burgundy, green, and gold color story. It's really pretty. Really liked this one. This was actually right at the summertime when I thought there were going to be no new palettes coming out, and I was just getting really bummed out, and then I found these, and everything started to pick back up again. And the Enchanted Icon, I picked up 3 of these palettes, and I think there are 5 altogether. And so this is the Enchanted one. These are over at Ulta if you want to go ahead and grab these. And they are really pretty. And then the last one is one inspired by Patrick Toss palette. And oh, there we go. Hold on. So he does have two cream shadows over here, and the plastic fell off. But again, this is a dupe of his palette where it has all the rosy shades, all the rosy shimmers and the rosies. And it's a really pretty palette. I really like this one as well. The last one in this grouping is from Mama Mitchell. It's the Color Case, and so these are matte shadows, and they are made to be blended with each other to come up with other shadows, so they're more going along. It's almost an old theatrical formula where it's grease paint kind of thing. And so you're actually supposed to use base colors to mix together to get your other colors. It's very matte, and I've had a lot of fun with it. And I was using this in conjunction with the Looksy shadows, and Looksy was actually bought out, and they did a lot of multi-chromes, and what I would do is mix my bases with this and then put the multi-chromes over. And so Looksy, like I said, got bought out, but fond memories of putting all of these together and making some fun looks. So those are all the palettes that are right in the middle of the medium pile, except for one. Okay, so this one is part of this, and this is the Colourpop After Hours palette. And this is the one that I actually have on my eyes today. And it's part of this middle ranking. I think this is actually an underestimated palette that kind of slid under the radar because it's a really good one, and the special shades are pretty amazing. They have this one, this one, this one, and then a couple of, so the multi-chromes over here are these three, and then these three are going to be specialty shades, and they're really amazing. The one that I have one over on the corner of the lid, which is a really dark, actually, let me see if I can deepen that up a little bit. Yeah, this one is a really dark shade, and it's a multi-chrome of green, red, and I think probably purple in there as well. And then this one is a glitter, and it has a whole bunch of orange and pink and silver, and it's really pretty. And this one I have right under the brow, and it has a whole bunch of pink in it as well. It's really pretty. So as far as what I have on, again, I have this one in the crease, this one in the outer corner, this one on the lid, this one right under the brow, and then I used this one as an eyeliner. I thought I was getting a burgundy palette when I got this palette, but it is definitely a smoky palette. If you need to get a palette so that you can smoke your other shadows out, this would be the palette to get. It's a really good palette. Like it quite a lot. And again, it came out right at a time when it kind of slipped under the radar. And so those are the palettes that are in the, it's good, I like it, it's great. And so now we're going to go to the best of the best, and I'll be right back. Hi, it's Adrienne, and back with the best of 2024 for you. And let's go ahead and start off with the NYX Beetlejuice palette. Color for the Recently Deceased, really cool tone palette. Really cute. I thought that it was just a wonderful palette, and it's the shimmers in this palette, and they are just really, really shimmery. And so this palette will punch no matter what you do with it, and it's a really fun palette. So yeah, this is the number that they're on, and that's my number. So yeah, I thought the creativity in this palette was just great. I thought it was beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go to Jingle Bell Ruby, which I actually got right at, I think it was New Year's. So this one cut it close for this year. But it was in one of the Ice Cream Beauty boxes as well. And I just think it's a beautiful palette, especially for the holidays. You can definitely do green looks. You can do some burgundy looks. And I thought that it just was really, really pretty. So definitely one of my favorite palettes and love the formulas on those. Another palette that this one's by Simply Posh, and it's the Coastal palette. And I was just really amazed by this palette. I thought that it was really done well and really loved the colors on it and all of the duochromes, and really thought that it has that beachy vibe. So if you want to get the feeling that you're going to the beach or you're doing beach makeup, then you can kind of do that with this palette. And I just thought the mix of the neutrals with the multichromes was just really pretty. So I would definitely suggest this palette to anybody. Simply Posh and Dede's Signature you can both get on their websites. And let's see, as far as the next palette, Frosty the Snowman from Colourpop, which is really going the opposite ways that I think that winter colors go. Because when I think of a winter color, I think of a deep purple or a deep burgundy, or, you know, and so all of those really, really deep colors. And this Frosty the Snowman palette really goes into all the light pastels, literally the snow colors. I mean, if you want to think of it that way. So Fairyland, and the North Pole fairies, all of that. And so this palette just, it's so imaginative that it just got me thinking in a whole bunch of different ways about winter and what kind of looks to do in winter, and the whole Fairyland thing. And so, yeah, I've really been enjoying this one too. And then let's see, the next one is Colourpop again, and it goes completely the other way. And this is going to be the Stranger Things palette by Colourpop. And again, the quality on this is pretty amazing. They have Hawkins and then the underneath, and a really, really good palette. I also like the duochromes that came out with this palette as well. And I think it's the first palette that I've ever gotten that has Natural Monster on it. So, yeah, there's all sorts of good looks to get out of this one, and it's definitely, you get a lot of variety in this palette. So, really fun palette to work with, and another really imaginative, really good Colourpop palette. Next one that I have is actually going to be from Alter Ego, and it's one of my favorites of the year, actually. I wore it a ton. It's Wildwood palette by Alter Ego. And this one actually is going to be, let's see, inspired by the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. And I've really enjoyed this one. Their multichromes up here have a ton of glitter in them, so they're a very, very sparkly formula. And I love that about this palette, and the looks that you can get are just pretty amazing, green, grungy, and fun, and a couple of, yeah, they have a couple of, what am I thinking? Terracotta. Why I can't think of terracotta, I don't know, but you can get some terracotta looks and some green looks and grungy looks. Really fun. Really liking this palette. Another one from Colourpop, and this is going to be the Precious Metals palette. This is one that they put out for their 10-year anniversary. and it's a gorgeous palette. If you have older Colourpop palettes that you can't find anymore, I mean, definitely a lot of them are still available on the Colourpop website, but if they aren't, this is a really good palette to purchase because it's half cool, it's half warm, and you can get a lot of looks or the approximation of looks from palettes that Colourpop has done. And now that the palettes are getting older and some of them you can't replace, this is actually a really good option for people who still want to do some of those looks, but they just, like I said, the palettes are older and some of them you can't find anymore. So yeah, really good one. Liking that one quite a lot. And the next one, Blend Bunny, the Machina palette. This was another one that I got when everybody was saying eyeshadow was dead, and I was like, oh, but I really like eyeshadow, and I don't want it to be dead. And so I found this palette, and it very much revived me and made me remember that eyeshadow isn't dead. It's a very different color story, and the multichromes in here are they're amazing. And this whole color story goes together really well, and it's very imaginative and very beautiful. And yeah, amazing palette. Okay, so we're down to the last three. And so, yeah, as you can see, I haven't been listing numbers because I just ranked them in sets. And so these three, I don't think I could say it was one or the other. Actually, these four. And let me show you here. Okay. This was one that I actually picked up right at the end of 2023. This is Cloud 9 by Colourpop. It's another cool tone palette, and this one has one of those holographic shadows in it, and this holographic shadow you can use as the base to do any of these looks with, and it's probably one of the most amazing things that I've seen this year as far as what eyeshadow can do. These holographics are pretty amazing. So yeah, I thought that this palette was just a really good one altogether. The next one is actually the Cosmic Dreamer by Inslee Rain. And this one, if you're just going to get one Inslee Rain palette, this one would be one of the good ones to get because it's going to give you a selection from all of their... If you haven't tried Inslee Rain and you want to try a variety pack, this is the one to get to go ahead and do that. It's beautiful. It has cool tones. It has warm tones. It has some fun, bright summer colors. It has some really dark, what I would say are winter colors. It has some grungy tones, and it's really a beautiful palette. The quality on Inslee Rain is pretty fantastic, and this one is just a beautiful color story altogether. Has a little bit of everything and is one of my favorite palettes. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites of this year. And then yeah, Colourpop. I understand that you slowed down for a little while, but can you go a little faster? Just a little bit, or maybe just do a little bit more eyeshadow, because I'm missing it a lot, and I miss you a lot. But anyway, Colourpop Twilight palette, one of the best color stories, or no, I would say it's the best color story of this year. It's beautiful. It's jewel tone colors, and it's greens and periwinkles, and these beautiful silvers and some browns thrown in. And yeah, it's just, this one, as you can see, I'm hitting pan all over the place. I just really loved this color story. It sold out 2 times before I could get my hands on it. It was the 3rd time before I could get a hold of this palette. It is my favorite Colourpop palette of this year, and I think it's just absolutely gorgeous. And the last one, and this one totally amazed me as well, and I hadn't tried any of their formula before, and I thought it was just amazing what they did here. And this is the Adept Minka palette. And this one, their formula is just completely and absolutely amazing. It is high shine metallic. It looks like liquid metal is what it looks like. It's pretty amazing, and I have to say that I've just been awe-inspired by that palette. So for eyeshadow being dead, it really had a good year. It had a lot of palettes that were just gorgeous. They may not have been they may not have gotten all the hoopla that years past have got, but they were really good palettes. And so I'm really glad that I got to participate and I got to be part of this year, and that I got to try some really amazing and imaginative fun palettes this year. So thank you for everything, and I'll see you later, and I hope that 2025 is amazingly wonderful for you. Bye.